One of the first things people notice upon arriving at Mitchell Canyon is the eyesore off to the west, the giant quarry. That's Mount Zion, and that's an operating rock quarry. It's not part of the park. It's been digging away at the mountain under various ownerships since right after World War II, and we say that Mount Zion's got a face only a geologist could love. So what we're looking at is a rock called diabase. It's about 150 million years old. It's not valuable as a gem or in any kind of industry like that. It is quite useful though for walking on or for making roads, and that's what they use it for. It's the makes up the road that you drove in on and probably the road in front of your house. But even if you had gone back to the 1860s, Mount Zion didn't look that great. It had a different shape back then. It was called Pyramid Peak. But back then people described it as looking like it had the smallpox because there were scores of mine shafts driven into Pyramid Peak, because 1860 was the time of the great mining boom on Mount Diablo. To the north, coal was discovered in what is today Black Diamond Mines. Mercury was discovered on North Peak, but here in Mitchell Canyon it was copper, and that set off the great copper rush. And you can imagine all those prospectors, all those miners back to San Francisco, having been discouraged in the gold fields of the Sierra Nevada, getting a second chance. And they swarmed into the canyon here. At night, it was said that Mitchell Canyon was lit up by the collective light of all their campfires. It was kind of a wild and woolly time. And the folks down in Clayton said that these guys were acting so crazy, they all appeared to have been bitten by the mining tarantula. So if you were in the Sierra looking for gold, you were searching for the elephant. That was the metaphor, but here on Mount Diablo, you had been bit by the mining tarantula. The mining frenzy became so great that the state legislature asked the California Geologic Survey to come by and investigate. And the California Geologic Survey, led by Josiah Whitney, Chief Field Assistant William Brewer, camped not too far from Mitchell Canyon here. First, they investigated the coal mines over in the northern foothills. And William Brewer took one look at the coal and he wasn't very impressed. He came over to Mitchell Canyon, and same thing for the copper. He thought it was much ado about nothing. But once they were here, the Geologic Survey became fascinated with Mount Diablo, not for its intrinsic value as a source for precious minerals for California, but as a geologic storybook. Professor Whitney commented, well, if we can figure this place out, I think this is the key to understanding the Coast Range of California. And they spent so much time here that the state legislature cut off their funds at one point. They demanded to know why the survey was spending weeks and weeks looking at shells and old bones, when what the people wanted to know was, where was the gold? Well, in the end, nobody made too much money from the mines. At least none of the miners did. The folks down in Clayton, of course, got rich. That's always how it is. It's the folks selling supplies to the miners that make the real money.
Look a little to the left of the signpost, where you can see a grassy slope that lies between us and the creek. Rich McDrew says it's part of what was once an earthen dam.
And it went all the way across and filled in this entire area with water.
Stop 4 is just 100 yards ahead on your left. It's a nice, shady spot in the forest where Ken has some tales to tell.